Hello, everyone. Welcome to this follow-on live from the other day's fireside. There's so much going on in January. We thought we'd carry it on and get your guys' opinions in the chat. And we're joined by an awesome guest, a Doomsday Queen. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm excellent. Thank you for coming, joining us, and giving us a bit of perspective from over the pond.
Yes. I got to ask questions about what's going over on your side of the pond.
Oh, yeah, nothing. We're not allowed to say nothing. Everything is fine over here.
That's exactly what I was expecting.
No, it's terrible. It's terrible. We're building a Chinese embassy that's bigger than most of our buildings right in the center of London next to our data cables. So that's the latest.
Oh,
what could go wrong?
What could go wrong with that? You're prepared.
Everyone else is kicking Huawei out of public infrastructure, and we're basically giving them a warehouse right next to critical infrastructure. Don't know how that'll work out.
That's kind of like the US. They like to put all the Chinese owned land right next to all of our farms and infrastructures and bases, military bases. So sounds like they made their way to you.
Yes.
Yeah, in force by the sounds of it as well. Brian, welcome. Sorry, I didn't say welcome. We just got straight into it there.
I feel so rejected.
So the first thing we want to talk about, Doomsday Queen, you're welcome to ask your questions to us about the UK as well during this. Feel free. It's an open forum. But the first thing we want to talk about is Greenland and if that's going to become a physical takeover, because we all just watched Trump's speech, which was pretty much an hour of him saying all the achievements he's done, but then he answered questions. But when it came to a Greenland question, it was like it was just like, you'll see. And it was quite an anonymous answer that he said, just you'll see, like you'll see soon. Have you got any insight into this? Do you think it'll all just be the trade stuff, or do you think he will take it?
After Venezuela, I actually don't know what I think on it personally, because he did the same thing with Venezuela. He said, you'll see, we'll do it. And then, kidnapping in the middle of the night.
Bit different when it's NATO though, when it's an ally, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. I was watching a lot of the articles coming out in the middle of the night last night about like Denmark's special forces arriving to Greenland to show strength. Just some of the remarks on there, are we going back 200 years and we're just recolonizing the world? Because nothing's really nothing since the USSR fell has really changed the map in over 100 years almost.
Yeah.
Are we going
and people
back?
are saying that's two sides. It's like Putin's got this expansionism agenda, and now is Trump trying to expand and stuff like that with Venezuela? Because it wasn't a case of, I've took out this bad guy, now you guys do your own elections straight away and get somebody in charge and off you go. It was like, no, we're going to keep hold of it for a while.
Yep. It was like, no, we own this now, so we'll kind of see what's fit. And that gave me the bad vibe. I was just like, oh, are we going to war in the jungle? And then now you have Iran. Are we going back to the desert again? And then Greenland, it's like, is this the reason why they've been doing all these Arctic drills for the military?
Potentially. I mean, the Arctic obviously is a security issue that they're saying with Russia spreading there. Brian, what do you think with all the potential expansionism or just doing good deeds? What's your thoughts on it?
It's difficult because his strategy in power has always been to keep people on the back foot, and he likes an air of unpredictability because you don't really know what he's going to do. The problem with that is countries and the markets like stability. So throughout the Cold War, apart from missiles, the one thing that stopped it going hot was the other side always knew what the reaction of the other side would be. You were 100% sure if you did X, they would do Y. Now, he's in charge and he's a wild card. Nobody knows what he's going to do. And that's dangerous in itself. It's dangerous for the economies. and it's dangerous for military security because your adversaries don't know what you're going to do, and now your allies don't know what you're going to do. So there's a tiny little bit of a problem there, just a slight issue.
I mean, I'll hold my hands up. I was a big fan of Charlie Kirk, and I was a big fan of the stuff that was being done where it's saying and putting America first and stuff like that. And I was thinking that's like what we need. If that was happening here, we'd be over the moon with it. And I was hoping that would rub off over here. Like, oh, actually, let's use the North Sea. Let's actually drill for the oil and stuff like that. But it's getting worse. It probably answers all your questions here. Over 12,500 arrested for hurty words. Chagos Islands given Mauritius, sorry, I meant China, as well as handing a huge site and alongside national sensitive fiber cables. Starmer has made the UK a joke.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that.
So I have a hypothetical for you guys, since we're kind of talking like the big wide, and me and Scottish Prepper have been friends, 4 years?
It's been a while.
It's been a while, and then I met you, Mike. Okay, so we know that like everything comes down to propaganda, right?
Mm-hmm.
Putin and Trump were friends, right? Do we ever think that the friendship severed off? And now because that they socialized, Trump's now moving on the things that Putin would have moved on. Greenland, minerals, oil. Good. It's a good positioning. Are they both fighting to be the dictator of the world, the one world order? Or is it something different?
Did they have that meeting in Alaska, pull out a big map, draw a big line down the middle and say, you can have that, Vlad, I'll have this half? Possibility.
That's 100% a possibility.
Because the biggest shafting here seems to be Europe, right? Let's be honest.
Well, whether we like it or not, there's a three-way split on the globe. You've got China, the US, and the Russian Federation. Everybody else is a cannon fodder. And if it continues the way it's going with imperialism, for want of a better word, smaller countries will be forced to make a choice, or the choice will be taken from them. And at the moment, one's already had the choice taken from them, and another one is getting the choice taken from them. I don't think he actually gives a crap about what his allies' opinion is, because we're very much in the realms of it's the law of the playground, and the bigger boy is taking the lunch boxes, and Europe will make a lot of noise, but they're not going to help the person getting punched up and down the playground. They'll stand at the back and say, you probably shouldn't do that, and walk away. I think that's where we are.
And it's also a lot of those allyships, the UN, NATO, those are all kind of a disaster. And a lot of people forget after World War I, we formed the Big Five movement, which was the UK was involved, the United States, Japan, Russia. I'm trying to remember who the fifth country was. But pretty much we put a bunch of sanctions down on Germany as a whole. And that's actually what spearheaded going into World War II.
Yep.
That's what gave the fuel for the rise of the party that then started World War II. That fuel, because we repressed them so much, it was like he could appeal to all the right-wing Germans straight away, saying, "Oh, we don't deserve this, blah blah blah," and all this, and that fueled that fire definitely. We've got lots of comments here. I think the US will sign a permanent military and trade deal and continued governance by Denmark, then push for Greenland independence. I think, Billy, you will find there's already a military and trade deal in place where he can build whatever defense he wants. So that the question of governance, I think that's more materials.
He wants the minerals. It's got nothing to do with security, because he already... Right, let's cut to the bones of it, of the argument. Trump's assertion is that with the thawing of the ice, Arctic security is going to become a thing. His logic is sound, right? But given that Denmark's a member of NATO, and NATO should, in theory, come, whether they ever would, come to the help of another state that's attacked, and Greenland's a crown protectorate.
We sent one soldier from each country.
Don't even go there. That's an embarrassment. But in theory,
fierce.
Oh, it was, yeah. The guy was an angry drunk. They said.
Can you imagine being that guy sat on the base going, John, you're going to Denmark? Oh, my regiment? No. Are you going to Greenland?
Just you.
My regiment? No, just you. Just you.
Best sharpen that bayonet, boy. Things might get real. But you know, the thing is, there's already basin rights there. He can have as much basin as he wants. That's not what he's interested in, because that argument's brushed under the carpet. If it was only about security, then it doesn't need to be a 51st or a 52nd state. I don't know what we're up to now. He doesn't have to do that. He only has to do that if he wants the land rights. So I think it's about money and resources. And I'm hopeful at Davos this week there'll be an accommodation, and he's using a sales tactics, and he's starting here and he wants everything, and he might come down a little bit to here. That might take the shape of more basin rights. NATO will commit more forces to its defence, and some of his cronies will get mineral deals.
Spoilers, nothing will happen at Davos. They'll all say their bit. Nothing will get sorted. They'll all go home and all say their point of view. It never does.
Oh, you cynic.
We got to be a little cynical with this, though, too, because we have to look at all the wars that have happened, because that is truly what we all prep for, right? Mm-hmm. We all things that have been taught to us throughout history. So when it comes down to history, what is the number one gameplay for any, I don't want to use the word supremism, but the winner, right? It comes down to resources, right? When Great Britain started to lack in resources, I'm sorry if this offends anybody, then it was like phone call, hey, we need more resources, right? Same with the United States. It's the same with every single country. I hear a lot of time where people will go, well, nothing's ever going to happen in Australia. Well, Australia is completely dependent on China. They have really great rates. They are glued right there, even though they do their own thing. And so all these wars, you have to think about all the resources. What's number one resource? Oil. Okay, now we've had Venezuela. There's an oil fuel. You have the Middle East. You have Russia, and then minerals. Everything is getting pushed to this AI technology, phones. I mean, look at how much gear you and all of us, we're all running right now. That's off of minerals. So I think you're right, Brian, on that. It's coming down to a mineral war, and I think it's kind of a slap tactic.
I think you've got a point. He's looking ahead, he's reading the room, and he's decided everything in history's either been a matter of money or power, and he's decided to go for both. If he gets his way, he'll leave America in a better strategic position, but for a short period of time, there'll be no friends at the table. But money talks. So the people that say we'll walk away, etc., leaderships change every 4 years. They'll come back because everybody want to drink from the trough again.
New World Order has started, says Tez. Bob's
in the house.
Bob's the next president. I've said vote Bob. So,
well, you heard the Prime Minister of Canada talk about the First World Order. Have you guys seen that clip yet? He said the quiet thoughts out loud. Yeah. He literally said China came to the table, and he goes, "This is going to be great for the New World Order." He said the quiet part out loud, and I was like, "Oh, so we're not conspiracy theorists anymore. This is real."
Did you see the trade deal he did with China on Friday?
That's when he said it.
Is that when he said it? I must have missed that part. He's taken like 53,000 electric vehicles. He's cancelled the F-35 deal, and he's buying Saab Gripen fighters. And he's realigned all his exports as well. Instead of going south to the States, he's just ditching them all to cargo, freighting it out. So he's reading the room and decided that rather than give leverage, he's just going to take the leverage away. I don't think Europe will do that because we have got really, really poor politicians.
Whatever do you mean, Brian? We elected him with a good 31% of the votes.
Don't even go there.
But yeah, that's the way we have it at the moment. The weird thing is I thought that would have made more news on Trump's speech and questions from the reporters than it has. It seems to be like that's happened. That's been said. There's a huge deal going on between Canada and China. Trump's mentioned previously about absorbing Canada, becoming a 51st state, becoming part of it. I'm surprised Greenland is so in the headlines, and obviously the stuff going on in Iran, and that seems to just not have been mentioned at the moment. What do you think is going to happen with that then?
Me or Brian?
Either. Jump in.
Ladies first.
Oh, I think that it is such a power play. And I don't say it in a good way either, because if you stomp your feet and throw a temper tantrum at every single border that's around us, then you're creating a bunch more enemies than what we need personally, right? Like it was the whole make America great again. Let's focus on it. Now it's like, forget about America. Forget about what's going on in here. We're going to focus on all of our resources that we can gather or get. And have any of you guys played the game Risk?
Yeah, he's going for if he gets South America, he gets an extra 3 armies, doesn't he?
Yes, that's how it feels though. So you have Canada now going to China. You have Australia with China. You have the UK still with us, but at the same time, they're like, I don't know. And then you have Russia that's like, well, then we're going to link up with Iran. And it's just becoming messy. There's just so many arrows going across the world right now that it's making us stretch thin. And honestly, making each one of these world order or world leaders weaker, because they're trying to pump up their people like, oh, we have an ally. We're an ally with this person, or we're an ally with this person. But everyone's so stretched thin. I think it's getting close to, are they actually going to try to absorb different countries?
I mean, I'm going to get shot for this, but part of me hopes they do.
Hopefully not.
No, he's turning on the VPN. He's turning on the VPN. He's here in Utah.
I think Trump should take Greenland, UK, and EU have been shafted for their leaders. I think genuinely, if we became the 53rd state, that'd be brilliant. Because as soon as I got that American passport,
Second Amendment,
changing states,
see,
I would be out of here.
The problem is some of his ideas have got merit, and some of them I actually agree with. So sensible border controls, they're not the ravens of a maniac. That is sensible policy. It's sensible to limit who comes into your country with reasonable checks that they're not a murderer, a rapist, or God knows what else. That's sensible. As far as blowing up boats full of drugs, I've got no problem with that either. But given that the CIA was one of the largest drug dealers in the world, is he going to shoot Langley? So I don't know how that works. But who would have thought he would have taken out Venezuela and kept it at the start of this year? Because we all pretty much poo-pooed when he said Canada and Greenland. Now he's de facto taken Venezuela. He said he's going to take Greenland. Greenland isn't going to take a lot of forces to hold it because nobody's going to do anything. Canada's on the border. If he actually wanted to take over Canada, there would be bullets and bombs, but it would be done and dusted in a short space of time because he has got the forces to do it. Is it out with the realms of possibility? If he'd asked me last year, I would have said, no, it's posturing. Ask me this year, I don't know, I'm 50-50.
2026 feels like it's been a decade, and it's only been 2 weeks. Like, because you guys report on current world affairs. I report on them every single day. And I actually had to take like a mental health. I was like, whoa. Are we going to war? Who are we going with? Canada? Greenland? Denmark?
Everybody.
Like everybody. It's just one article after another article. And here's the thing. Denmark right now, if you're not from there or you don't have friends that are actually there, I have a few, they're working on securing their border on the side towards Russia because they're nervous about Russia. Do we really think Denmark is going to go fight for Greenland?
No, they couldn't. They don't have the force projection ability for a start. I mean, a couple of Marine expeditionary units would take and hold Greenland forever. And there's nothing anybody's going to do about it.
We have our own Greenland issue in the UK.
What's that?
We have Ireland. We have Ireland. It's the weak point of Europe, right? So Russian ships can approach, anyone can approach from Ireland. Ireland has no jet fighters, relies fully on the UK. Its military forces is around between 7 and 13,000 at last count. That's it. And they have no drones, no technology, nothing like that. And that is a massive, that is literally the first bit of land you come to coming from the ocean there. We have our own
really
issue.
good
That
pubs,
is a massive, that's a massive, yeah, really good pubs. Yeah, they'll be drunk before they get to England. We're all right. But it's the same sort of thing. So part of me understands that. And I only know this because it came up on the radio the other day, and it was an Irish government representative speaking about it, that Europe's completely defenseless from one side as well. It does feel like risk, like people are securing more than the borders. They're securing the continents. And I feel like England's going to be left in the middle with no armies and no blue dice to defend itself with.
Yep. And they're like just picking up little countries. They're like, oh, I'm going to get these. I'm going to get 3 new armies, a couple more tanks.
I'll throw out a wild idea for you both and see what you think. Given that he's desperate to stay in power, like most elected officials are, hypothetically,
which you could be talking about
all
of them.
All of them.
All of them. But let's stick to old Donald there. So he's taking Venezuela. Old Uncle Donald, and let's say he goes for Greenland, which is looking again a possibility. And then he turns his eyes later in 2026 to Canada, and there's a shooting war. He would hold on to power because, let's be honest, as soon as the first body bags came back to America, whoever started it, all bets are off. They would fight to the finish. People would then be forced to take sides. It wouldn't matter who started it. Whether he did a false flag operation or whatever, Canada would be steamrollered. There would be losses, but they would lose the country. He would get to stay in power for even longer. And generally, wartime leaders are always fairly popular. So it's not
successful.
Well, he would win. It's a lot of geography to take, and he'd need to expend a lot of forces and resources to do it. But they've got a large enough standing army to steamroller up anyway. And if he's not in NATO, and he's got to bring troops and munitions and everything, logistics trains back to America, if he takes Greenland and it all goes to shit, then he's got even more to push north. Think about that. Is that a wild, crazy idea?
Within the first week of 2026, Trump announced the US withdrawing from 66 international organizations, like the international concerned scientists and stuff like this. And I get it with the environment stuff, but I feel like it's going to be 67 when NATO disappears, and then it's free reign, right? The gloves are off.
And the gloves are the alliance with NATO has really, I like to use it as the term of it puts a muzzle on our military. Like you have a bunch of Rottweilers that are just ready to go all the time. And I mean, I was deployed when NATO put in new restrictions. They put in escalation of force. All of a sudden, it was like you had to identify X, Y, and Z of the enemy, or we could potentially go to jail for war crimes. And we were like, where is NATO? Why are they making decisions? You know, like when the gloves come off, people do escalate and it gets further and further. And honestly, I think that it's kind of like that, you know, the big five. When you look at it, what did the big five do? Well, it made us feel like we were all better than everybody else, correct? Then Japan all of a sudden got really emotional and they were like, you're not even including us on the text message reel. I mean, this is a long time ago, but you get what I'm saying is like they felt excluded. And all of a sudden, Pearl Harbor happened. We got bombed in Pearl Harbor. We were in war. So you have all these like alliances and they're all shifting. And so we don't really know what's about to happen next.
Yeah.
Is it clout? Is he just doing it because he's saying it? Or is there really a world shift with people? I know you guys are tired of taxes. I know you guys are tired of not having freedom of speech and people are being arrested left and right. Here, people are protesting and things are just escalating and escalating. I think it's like this in every country. We just
they're talking about banning social media, banning X. We've already had a pretty much a firewall put onto a lot of our services under the guise of protecting kids, which I'm all for protecting kids, but it's a load of crap. It's just a reason to get it in there and stuff like that. The next one is AI monitoring of CCTV and stuff like that. So literally facial recognition on the lot of us, digital ID. we are literally becoming the 1984 states, and it's people are protesting, but that's as far as it gets in this country. We all have a massive 3 million people marching through the centre of London, epic scenes, English flags everywhere, Christian rock bands on stage. Amazing to see in this country. Never seen it before. Next day, forgot about. Government don't care. Don't care. Doesn't make a difference.
Do we think that they're pushing this World War III rhetoric to try to get the citizens in line?
To try and decrease the population, potentially.
Like, oh, they're out of control.
Easiest way to decrease the population would be to cut the power. And I keep going by 90 and 90. 90% in 90 days, they're all gone.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a difficult one. Because you don't know a lot of the things that are happening in the first 2 or 3 weeks of 2026. If we were sat here this time last year discussing possibilities, I don't think we would ever be talking about this as even a remote possibility. As in, we're going to send in Delta Force and abduct a foreign leader from Venezuela, capture all the oil tankers.
Zero casualties. What a cracking job, especially considering he was practically in a fortified home with armed guards. What a cracking job they did of that. I got to give them credit for that.
Absolutely.
I think nobody could have predicted that. He can't wait for the film.
Right.
What's the general consensus in America about this?
Ooh, people are mad. People are happy. It's like a 50-50 divide. I see it on live every day. Yes, I'm glad we did this. Yes, I'm mad we did this. Everyone is very divided. But right now here, I feel like they are not even looking at the full real world, like the world perspective of it. It is the political side. It's whoever was a leader and who isn't a leader. This is bad. And they don't have any idea of what's about to come.
Is the divide over there between, yeah, we love this, yeah, we hate this, exactly the same demographic as left and right wing? Or is it completely mixed? Is it people from both sides?
Yep. So I see it every day because I report on it in both ways. Like I try to stay neutral, but I'm like, oh, let's look at it this way. Let's look at this way. You see it all said. It's like, you gain 200 followers and 100 are going to leave you. I can't believe you said that. And it's like, whoa, we're just having a conversation.
Yeah.
But people are they're so etched in and so biased in their own ways that they can't even explore the idea of, is this the final push to the First World Order?
I think, and I don't mean this in a derogatory fashion, but so you've been in the military, you've traveled outside of the US.
Yeah.
And I've been in America a lot. And my personal experience was a lot of people in the States don't travel much outside of the States. So the opinion
our states are about the size of one of your countries.
Yeah, it's just a big place. Yeah,
you can drive to every climate. That's the thing.
It's not a derogatory term. What I'm trying to get across is that I think that it's a polarized view from within your goldfish bowl. As in, so if you're told something is this, then that's the truth. But then you've got a certain amount of nationalistic pride. Let's be honest, Mike, people in the UK, if the UK was taking over our country and that guy's a bad guy, and you've also got some revenue coming in, you would have the same nationalistic fervour here as well, saying, yeah, we're great again because you get to share in part of that glory, for want of a better term.
I think
so. I don't know, is that part of it?
I think we've got too many. I think sorry, I think this is where I lose subscribers. I think the left outweighs the right in this country, unfortunately, and there'll be too many people concerned that you killed a squirrel on the way over and it was an endangered squirrel, and then you used too much diesel to get there, so that's damaged the environment. We couldn't go to war. We'd have too many people crying on the streets. Who would go to war? We've no military left, and the next generation.
Where people don't get that perspective. They've never been to a third world, or they've never been outside, which I get what you're saying on there is you haven't been to a third world country, then you don't get, I guess the best way to do it is about 4 or 5 years ago, there's a lot of protests going on around here and people were screaming for a country. And they were like, oh, we are in support of LGBTQ, and we are going to support Iran. Sorry, YouTube gets so mad when I say that wrong. Everybody pronounced it as Iran until like 10 years ago. I'm not going to be politically correct. But they were like protesting this. And I was like, you realize like if you go into this country, they would behead you. Like, I hate to say it that way. Like, the time I spent in other countries, I made sure that my hair did not show. I physically did not wear makeup. I did not look feminine at all because that posed its own risk. And then when people were like
streets with banners saying gays for Gaza.
Yes. And I was like, do you realize that they would execute you? Like, they don't care if you are marching for them. And do I say support whatever country you want? Absolutely. But understand some of these countries, and I'll say it, that they would hesitate less to get rid of you.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be a hesitation of, oh, well, they did this for us and they did. No, they do not like you. It doesn't matter if you're in support of them or in disrespect of them. They do not like you.
Yeah.
You'd be getting stoned to death as you're thanking them.
Yep.
And that's the madness. But you can't have that discussion or argument with somebody who's decided suddenly I've got this banner and this flag and this headscarf and now I'm part of a crowd and they all like me because I'm chanting the same thing as them. They've no clue. They haven't got a clue.
Nobody likes you,
mate.
Sell
off everything you own, give it to people from that country, go to that country and visit, and then find out what you're actually protesting for.
100%, 100%. But I mean, it's what Brian was saying about like being in a bubble. I think we're all guilty of that in a way as well, because
for sure,
you speak to a lot of people in England who have never been to the States, and their only impression is like news stories, depending on what kind of avenue they get their news from, and it's completely biased. So they're like, "Oh no, I'd never go there. Oh, it's a hellhole over there. It's hellhole over there." I've loved it every time I've been. I'm sure Brian has as well. But I've been
about 10 times and I've never seen any trouble. I've never seen any trouble. There's plenty of cops everywhere. People are, albeit it's tourist town, but people are pleasant. But I got the impression if you, excuse the language, if you fuck around, you're going to find out. And I think people are a bit more civil when you realise the other person could be armed. Whereas in the UK, there's no consequences.
No. Well, the only consequences we have here is if we say something bad, we get knocks at the door by the police. Did you have any specific questions about the UK situation then?
Well, I'm flabbergasted by it because I've watched people get drugged from their house. And I have followers that are petrified. And I was like, so we've made up code words. And I was like, you are in complete support of your country. Say how much you love your country. And I was like, we can decipher in between. But that's giving 1930s. That's giving a little Hitler vibes, guys. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I know Trump gives the little Hitler vibes to people too. But going door to door because somebody doesn't agree with whatever term and arresting them and ripping them out of their home.
Oh, it's better than that.
Sorry, go on.
It's bigger than that.
I was just going to say, it's worse than that, way worse. There was there'd been an illegal migrant had come over and he had committed all these crimes. He was a rapist, right?
Or a doctor or an engineer.
Yeah, a doctor and engineer. So when it went to court, his lawyer had argued that he didn't know what he was doing was wrong because culturally where he came from, it was fine. So that he basically didn't do any prison time. That's the long and short of it. But somebody who commented on it on Facebook got 18 months in jail. That's a true story. Yeah, that's true.
What? 18 months in jail?
Yeah, true story. And that's not an isolated incident.
No. This is what we're dealing with. It's woke gone mad at the moment.
You have got a better chance of being arrested and doing crime in the UK for hurty feelings on Facebook than if you walked up in the street and punched somebody or square in the jaw. And that's a fact.
High street shops are a free-for-all because the security's not allowed to shout at you, stop you, touch you, or assault you. You can just walk in, grab whatever you want, and walk out. But if you say something bad on Facebook, they'll be round. So I know somebody who had the house broken into. They were downstairs. They rang the police. By the time the police turned up 4 or 5 hours later, they'd already left the house because they said, I think they're going out when they were on the phone, and they turned up and all they got was a crime reference number. That's all they got.
Mm-hmm.
All you need is all you ring the police for in this country is a crime reference number so you can claim on your insurance. That's it.
And it's not the police's fault, because they are trying to do a good job, but they've got all these woke policies in place that are having to spend their time doing that rather than actual foots on the ground police work.
I think that the government puts in all of these rules for police or for peacekeepers, or there's different terms for everywhere, to keep them kind of leashed in a sense and to cause more mass chaos. Because it's the same here, right? We have protests that are getting violent. Are all protests violent? No. Everybody hold on. Don't start screaming at me in the comment section yet. Not all protests are violent, but the ones where, I mean, I've had people show up in my lives and they're like, I hope it snows more so I can put rocks inside of snowballs to pelt the officers with. And I was like,
charming.
Yes. I was like, yes.
So that's intent straight away. So they'd have been arrested in the UK for saying it.
Yeah, but they don't do that. And so here, I feel like for the last I'd say almost 20 years with these protests, that the more violent you get, the more you're hitting, shoving back, those kind of things. It's kind of like a toddler that's never been disciplined. And so it gets worse and worse. I feel like that they made all these rules so that people don't get arrested. So then you do have that civil divide, right? When there's civil unrest and civil divide between two different sides inside the civilian sector, the government can kind of do whatever the fuck they want.
I think society is fundamentally broken in the West across the board. And I'm slightly older than both of you, so I'll just throw that out there. But when I was growing up, if I did something wrong or out of line, I would get a clip round the ear or hit with a slipper or whatever my parents had at hand. If I went to school and I was out of line, there'd be a leather strap or a cane. You'd get hit. So that taught you fairly on.
Dark ages. Brian's a lot older than the rest of us. Just throwing that out there.
It was the year 1850. But it taught you at a very young age that actions beget consequences. Fast forward 20 years, actions get nothing but a visit from a social worker and a free holiday somewhere because you've had a rough upbringing. That's not how life works.
How do I get in on this? I'd like a vacation.
Oh no, that is actually true. That happens as well. In case you didn't know that, that happens too as well.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, really. If you've
grippy socks.
No what? Grippy socks.
No,
that sounds like something out of Mike's closet. Yeah,
we're not
true.
going to the psych center.
So they do things like the social services will take kids from underprivileged families on holidays and things, or they'll give their parents money to take them on holidays and things.
That's it. I'm leaving the US. I was a
yeah, trust me,
guys. I'm leaving. I want to go on a vacation.
You've got a better chance of seeing a GP, so a doctor, a general practitioner in the UK, if you got a plane ticket to France, jumped on a black dinghy, and came off and burned your passport, because they're paying like 150 grand for private practice GPs and dentists to check the illegal migrants, whereas we have to phone up the doctors at 8 o'clock every morning and hope we get through the 60 other people trying to get an appointment.
So that's part of the civil unrest in the US too. So for instance, if you have somebody who was born disabled in the United States and say it's not well documented, if you came here illegally, you would get all the resources you need. You need food stamps, we got you. You need housing, we got you. But say, for instance, somebody who has a mental health disability that's not worn physically on their sleeve, we cast them to the side, unfortunately. And so that is something where they're now like trying to push that universal health care here. And we're like, no, because I just wake up and call and see if I can get my kids in an appointment anywhere or anytime.
We have veterans on the streets and undocumented aliens in 5-star hotels.
See, that's what happened here too. And I feel like that brought a lot of uprising.
Yeah. But that's what we're on the verge of, I think, here. The verge of collapse or uprising. It's one of the two.
Yes. I think society is broken.
As though in everything, it seems to be everything is broken, from infrastructure and public services to the public health service in the UK is destroyed. It never recovered from COVID. It's just decimated. My wife and two of my daughters are nurses, and it's just destroyed.
My partner has a severe eczema and psoriasis to the point she couldn't walk. It was cracked. As soon as she walked, her skin would open. It would crack. She'd bleed from it. It took a year to get a dermatology appointment. And when it finally came through after a year, she had to leave her job and everything because she was a carer. So she couldn't care for other people when she couldn't walk herself. And when she finally got the appointment, it was a telephone appointment for a skin condition.
They gave her a telehealth for a skin condition. Yeah.
That's
and that's why I think all of us need to travel and ask each other questions and know what's going on over the pond. I'm still.
Well, it sounds just as bad.
For the water, just so you know.
It sounds just as bad. It's broken on both sides.
It is.
And Europe's the same, largely. Europe's the same. But I don't know what the fix is, unless, well, I do know what the fix is. People would have to harden their hearts and just draw a line in the sand and say no more. And that's not going to happen at the moment. But I don't think we're far away from it, because people are fed up.
There you go. Having a physio appointment over the phone was just as fun. Just had to pay private for my daughter where the NHS won't see her. It's it's insanity.
Regularly there's queues of ambulances 10, 12 deep, waiting to get into accident emergency just to get the patients out. There was one on the TV a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month, and it was an elderly gentleman in his 70s, so about Mike's age, and he had fallen and broken his leg. He'd fallen and broken his leg, and he was 18 hours on the ground waiting for an ambulance to come and get him. 18 hours. In apparently a first world country.
Yeah. I mean, even 6 years ago, I was on a broken leg on a football pitch for 6 hours waiting for an ambulance at 10 o'clock at night. It's never got any better.
Wow.
But yeah, it's fundamental. It's only one of the little things that's fundamentally broken in a country, but we can still give plenty of money to other wars and overseas and everything else, and
do you guys
support
ship
the
out
cause
money to all these other wars too, just as much as we do? We just don't hear about it.
Just like that, yeah. And all our spares for our power grid, we send all them.
And dollar bills. We're just what's happening.
The UK's got a project running that started this year. Part of last year, to invest 52 billion on a creaking and aging electrical system to try and upgrade it to meet net zero for 2030. So it's not going to happen. We've paid EDF in France double the budget for the nuclear power stations they were supposed to build 10 years ago. Still not finished. My granddaughter could have built it with Lego by now, it had been done. And now they want to electrify all housing and do away with natural gas. So every house has got to have an air source heat pump. They're going to ban gas boilers. They want to ban gas cars. We do not have the infrastructure for it. We're building wind turbines, and it's not going to work.
Well, they had the big push for the e-cars here for Tesla, right? But our grid system is so old. And we've had friends that they can't even get their vehicle charged. They can't even get into a charging station. And then they're all of a sudden giving announcements there might be rolling blackouts. And we're all like, why are we pushing the Z-car thing? We don't have the infrastructure for it. We just don't.
So there's 3 grids in America.
Brian,
sorry, Mike, on you go.
We were in your car. Brian's got an EV through a work scheme, so it's not his fault. I did the same thing. And we went to an island, did a whole video camping on an island, and coming back, looking at the map, there's one charger, let's get there. Dead, not there, doesn't exist. There's another charger, somebody's on that. We can't get that one. And literally, talk about range anxiety. We thought we'd have to hoof it back on foot. There's no infrastructure at all for it. It's ridiculous.
It gets worse outside of the central belt of Scotland that you go, because it's very rural and rustic. So basically, you've got mountains and rain, and that's it, and an electric car and no place to charge it. And it started off an 18-mile trip from where we left to where the charging point was. It showed I had 90 miles of charge. By the time we got to the charger, it was down to 36. So that's how inaccurate it is. Yeah, that's my driving.
I have a Jeep, and it's a 392, but the new 392s, they're trying to make them half hybrid electric and half the motor, the gasoline, the fuel.
That's the happy medium. That's what works.
Oh, I refuse to. Like, they tried to talk that up to me, and I was like, no, I want the Hemi under, because I strap fuel to the back of my rig. So like, you guys have seen, like, when I'm out hunting and stuff like that throughout the years, like, I am 50, 60 miles from any civilization. I don't have time to, like, do I have a charge? And like running, like, I use, is it Starlight? What is
Starlink.
Starlink. Thank you.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is a genius on that one, whether you like him or not, but it works great. I'll like mount it to the top of my Jeep, and then I can upload a YouTube video. And I haven't been around people in like a week, but people don't realize, like, this push for the e-cars, that's a little dangerous in a sense. Like, what if your car does run out of a charge? What if I was climbing a mountain and tried to come down, and all of a sudden the battery hits 30% and I don't have them. I can't be able to, like, maneuver over the rocks to get back down to the trail. Like, oh, I don't know.
But it's the Kool-Aid that people are being forced to drink. So mass media and the governments are behind this push. And they don't mention the toxic mining that's going on to get the precious metals, or all the other crap that goes on with building the wind turbines, or the short life expectancy in them, or the fact that they don't provide inertia on the grid. We can and could build really clean running gas-fired power stations. It's not a problem. Same with nuclear. It's doable. There's just no political appetite for it because it doesn't suit the woke narrative of the day. The UK has got tremendous natural resources in the North Sea, but we've got lunatics in charge that won't let us drill, baby, drill. So we've got wind turbines. As soon as they stop, the lights go out.
Which we the other day, your video, 44% chance of a grid down situation.
There was a 44% chance of demand control measures having to be done, which could be lowering the frequency, rolling blackouts, or uncontrolled blackouts. The UK routinely takes in about 8 gigawatts of power from Europe. And if those get cut with trawlers or something, we're in a world of hurt.
Yeah. And we've got another cold snap coming in within the next 10
week.
Days. Yeah.
Well, and look at what happened with Germany. They had leftist activists that blew up the
Berlin Bridge. Yep.
And they blew up the
Tesla factory.
Yeah, a bunch of other power facilities, and they all went into a grid down, and it was so beyond cold, and people weren't ready for it.
So it was -9, and what they did was they got basically firelighters, and the power cables were stretched across the bridge. So they stuffed the firelighters under the cable, lit it, and walked away. It wasn't even high tech. Nobody was using shaped charges or anything. No. Firelighters, lit it, walked away, and it put out 30,000 people in the most affluent part of Berlin, and it put them out for days, and it was -9.
Yep. And did they label those activists as terrorists? Like, let's be honest, that's a terrorist act.
Yeah, of course.
For anyone to want to take power, let's say from our disabled, our elderly, our sick, that are reliant on some sort of grid. I mean, everybody is reliant on the grid in some facet of life.
Of course, yeah.
But those who are critically, like, for instance, what if they're on a respirator, or what if they're, or what is it? What is it called?
Oh, a ventilator.
A ventilator. Thank you.
Yeah.
But what if they're there, and then, your hospitals have a backup generator, but how much fuel do they have if they're pushing?
If they work.
That's if they work, right?
Fun fact, last year, we had, on the 8th of January, almost a year to the day when we had power problems this year. So on the 8th of January last year, there was really low wind in Europe and in the UK, and a protracted cold spell. That meant that the wind turbines weren't turning. Europe couldn't export power to us because they needed it. We didn't have any spare capacity. And the UK was this close to going out on an uncontrolled blackout or rolling blackouts. But
wow,
We've got two major hospitals in Scotland. One had a power outage last year, early on in the year, and the standby generators didn't kick in. So they get no power for an hour. And then one of the other major hospitals last year, their standby system went down as well, and they had no power. So whilst they say they've got backup power, I'm debating how they test them, because there's two major hospitals, two similar situations, and it didn't work.
More decaying infrastructure of our medical system, pretty much. That's it's something that's been left on the sideline because we never need it, you know.
Well, and that shouldn't even be the case for the government, right? Hospitals are ran off of government money, correct?
Yeah, off our money, yeah.
Should be, but they're doing this crap with trusts. So they basically give the money to a trust and they'll manage the hospitals on their behalf. And they don't work very well because it's more or less a private entity at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it doesn't work very well.
Between when they say, oh, we've invested 20 million in the NHS, by the time it gets through all the middlemen, the infrastructure, the corrupt IT system, the broken systems, everything like that, and gets into the pockets that need it, it's probably a third of that, if not less.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And it's like throwing money into a bucket full of holes. So yeah, that's just no good. But talking about the power outage and stuff like that, because I know the states have the same thing, and it's very state by state how good the grid is or not, depending on what the state's invested as well. But Spain was the shocker for us because that is the net zero agenda that caused that, right? So the Spain power outage. Do you want to explain that one, Brian?
Yeah, explain that.
So last year the Spanish grid went down. So the Iberian Peninsula in its entirety lost power for most of a day. And basically it was because of a lack of inertia on the grid. The easiest way to explain that is wind turbines do not produce inertia. Spinning lumps of metal produce inertia. So power stations. If you take the backbone off the grid, which is gas-fired, coal-fired, nuclear power stations, they provide inertia on the grid and an ability to switch and make changes to control fluctuations. Solar and wind turbines do not do that. There is battery banks and mitigation you can put in there to give you a degree of capacity to allow that to happen, but they didn't have that, and the UK certainly hasn't got enough of it, although they're slowly trying to introduce it. So we're heading down the path that they went to, and that was the cause of it there. If it hadn't been for France with its 28 nuclear reactors able to kickstart their grid quicker, they would have been in a world of hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and imagine if the whole of Europe goes for the same agenda, who's going to kickstart us then? That's the problem, right?
But what blew our mind... Sorry, on you go.
Pretty smart. I think he would do that. I think he would shut down the grid before he would actually push troops further. I mean, we've already seen it with Kyiv. Yeah.
What blew our mind was, though, when we were talking in the past about how long it would take people to lose their mind if everything went dark, we pretty much agreed on a ballpark figure of about 3 days. After 3 days, they would realise help wasn't coming and people would get a bit twitchy. There was people losing their mind in France and Spain in 6 hours, fighting over bottles of water. So what we thought would happen and what actually happened didn't pan out that way.
Yeah, it was hours. We were thinking days. I mean, we both push 1 second after onto everyone we speak to, saying, read that book, it'll make a difference, how you prep and stuff. And even in that, it was quite peaceful for a while, 3 hours fighting over water. Yep. And, absolutely insane.
Well, here in the US, it's the same way. So last year, do you guys remember the Palisade fires?
Yes.
The big forest fire that was taking over California. So I was
I remember that.
An event. And I got stranded in a hotel in Hollywood and a new fire had broken out. And there was fires in like 360 degrees, like all the way around, except for where the ocean was. The highways, like when you talk about like gridlock, think like your worst post-apocalyptic shows, right? Where the highways are gridlocked, same as when there's been hurricanes like Hurricane Katrina, the highways were completely gridlocked. It was the same. People evacuated our hotel and were stuck for 9 hours next to where the fires were. And if the wind shifted, the fire was going to come across and start melting cars. And so I was like having to make decisions. I was like, do I stay? okay, which way can I evacuate? Can I evacuate on foot? Which way could I go? Like, it was insanely stressed out, and people were fighting over water. They were fighting. People were like, oh, just take a cab, get out of there. And I'm like, there's no cabs. There's no one here. Like,
there's no roads.
Hi, guys. There's no roads. There's no nothing. Like, what do you want? And we had a bunch of influencers, and it was like, what do you do? Stream it. Of course, we're going to stream it. That's what we do for a living.
Yeah.
And like showing like the grid down. And I was like, think about any of those natural disasters. You know, you've seen hurricanes, the system, people will fight over water, milk,
Yep.
anything. And hurricanes come every single year here. They've never decided, oh, I'm going to prep a little bit more. Oh, I'm going to do this. It only takes an hour for chaos to set in. Look at the cell phone networks going down. People already had hit chaos.
See, we kind of envy the States sometimes because they do have a larger prepping community than we do. Essentially, obviously, it's larger anyway.
Oh.
That's why. But in a way, it's more insane that people live Tornado Alley and don't prep and stuff like that. We've got like Hawkins who comes onto our panel sometimes, and he wants there to be a grid down for a week just so it'll get more people prepping.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right, it won't. They'll live through that disaster like they lived through the jabby cough load of crap times, and still didn't prep after that. They had to queue 10 meters apart in a supermarket wearing masks and rationing what they bought,
and Cloroxing your groceries and
and they still don't prep after that because it'll never happen again.
People have Stockholm syndrome from it.
Like
they pretend like nothing ever has happened, nothing ever will happen. There's no reason to, and time again we see it. You know, like people were what Snapdragon has said. People were fighting over toilet paper.
Yeah, definitely.
It's crazy.
And people didn't understand why either. And trying to explain to somebody, because when they go in their little minds, they go into a giant supermarket. And I say giant supermarket, it's a fraction of what you'd have as a Walmart over there. They're quite small, but it's big for us. They go in and think, oh, this could never run out of food. There's less than 3 days food in there and that's in a busy area. That's in like where there's lots of supermarkets. It's even worse.
3 hours.
There was an island. There was islands up in the out of the Scottish Hebrides. Co-op had a logistics problem, and basically it was about their ordering system. So deliveries didn't get made, and we've got a lad in our group who lives on one of those islands, and people were absolutely panicking because they didn't.
No food.
They live on an island with one shop, and they still didn't prepare and have any food in.
Yep.
But how many times have we spoke about this? So if you had a power grid problem in the UK, the first thing that would happen, people would be fighting in the streets to buy generators from the shops. After they were done fighting and the lights came back on a day or two later, the very same generators that they'd just been fighting to get, they wouldn't think, you know, I'm going to keep that and maintain it. I've learned a life lesson here. No. It'd be on Facebook Marketplace the next day and being sold. And that's the mentality we encounter 9 times out of 10. Yep. Is that the same in the States, or is it just 100%. A UK issue?
Like I see waves of preppers that come in, and that's like always around elections. I've been doing this for like 10 years, live streaming. All of a sudden it's like, so-and-so's going to get elected. I have to prep. And then whoever gets elected. And then all of a sudden you just see it all over the Facebook marketplaces, water storage, stuff like that. I'm like in there. I'm like, I'll take all of it. I'll take all of it. $5 each. I don't care. I'll take it all. And people don't realize it. And I'm guessing that all three of you, or all three of us, feel the exact same way. Talking about prepping and teaching about prepping, we're doing it for our own selfishness reasoning, because there's a whole 90% of people, and I don't want you at my door. So if that means I inspire one more person to pick up a generator, one more person with a couple gallons of water, that means I don't have to deal with you for at least a day.
That's it, exactly. Yes.
Mm-hmm. I've had email death threats of people who think prepping should be a secret society and stuff like that. And I've had all this, and I've had hate, trolls, all that lot. And I'd have give up. Genuinely, I'd have just stopped because it wasn't worth it at one point, apart from 1 or 2 emails that have come through saying, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have started prepping. This, that, and the other happened, and it's a good job I had this because of you. And I'm like, that's just made it all worth it. I'll carry
It
on.
makes it worth it, right? Like we put a target on ourselves.
Yeah.
We can be a face to inspire others to do it and just to talk about it. When did prepping become a secret society? Do we got a cool handshake, guys? Like, is there something I need to know?
Yeah.
But when did it become so secretive? Because my grandparents were preppers. It was before they coined the term prepper. They called it deliberate living. Like, this is some of the food storage from my grandparents. These cans are over 50 years old. They are not rusted. They are not dented. They took pride in what they did. They tried to be as self-sufficient as physically possible because they went through the Great Depression. They knew that there was no food at the grocery store. There was ration cards during World War II. There's always something that can happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't something secretive back then. I'm not going to lie to you. When my grandpa was digging out a bunker during the Cold War, he was straight up like, if there's going to be a nuke, we're going to be prepared. And his friends were doing the same thing. Why are we trying to make this so secretive?
This is your fault. This is your fault in America for making the doomsday prepping bloody TV series and showing the worst kind of preppers.
I know.
It's all your fault.
Did you know I auditioned for that and they wanted me on that show?
You weren't crazy enough, clearly.
I wasn't crazy enough. And so when I've done like the New York Post and the New York Times, and I've been on all these big like TV shows and articles and stuff like that, I don't make it crazy. Like, my kid's not outside with an entrenching tool and like using potassium iodide in his milk.
And that's not what they want to see. They want to see the tinfoil hat.
Crazy.
Yeah, they want to see the lunatics. Do you know when it became not a secret? When people gave up in personal responsibility. When your grandparents knew that Big Brother wasn't going to come and save them, and they had to exercise a degree of self-responsibility, resilience, and take pride in the ability to look after their families. Now, something's gone wrong. Somebody should do something about this. Somebody needs to get this fixed.
Mm-hmm.
It's never you. It's never your responsibility to look after your children. It's somebody else's responsibility. That's where the problem is.
But we've also not just like we had our own version of UK Doomsday Preppers, which is just as bad if you've not had a chance to see it. But we had the same sort of thing, and it showed the not quite right people. And the problem is we get tarred with that brush. But the other one is when COVID was going on and stuff like that, we were tarred with the brush of, the reason I can't get toilet roll is because you guys have got it all. No, I've had that for 10 years.
Yeah. Well, it's the same.
We
like
get
when
tired
you
of this
see all
brush.
the shelves inside my filming studio. That's just a rotational pantry, and they're like, "You're the reason there's shortages." And I was like, "What are you talking about? I grew it. I grew that food. Leave me alone."
But
do you know why
the
though?
brush they tar with. That's what they do. So that scares other people from preparing because they don't want to be tarred with that brush. And
but here's why.
What I've had is somebody turn around to me saying, "Oh, it's a very American thing, that isn't it?" That's what they've kind of said to me, and I'm like, "No, it's a very British thing."
Mm-hmm.
World War II, make, do, and mend, victory gardens. Everything about this country was self-sufficient. We're an island nation, yet now 50% of our food is imported. What, 10-15% of our power is imported, Brian? Something like that. Am I right on the percentages? But we are no longer self-sufficient. And now we're trying to kill our farmers off, not literally, but make them sell on to solar farms and stuff like that. It's not an American thing. It should be a very British thing, but it's just not.
It's a common sense thing. But the same people that will people will laugh when you're trying to explain the merits of prepping. Mm-hmm. And it's not even prepping. It's an exercise in common sense and a hobby that gives you an element of comfort. Because should a series of events happen, you and your family will be okay. So the same people that laugh, that say, "I'll just come to your house," don't bother. But those people. So if something goes wrong, they'll demonize you with all your kit because you're the problem, because you've bought this over about 10 years because nobody's got the money to buy it all at once. Mm-hmm. So you've spent years of your life and your revenue buying it. So rather than say, "Well, I haven't done anything, so it's my fault," No. It's easier to demonise you because you've obviously bought up everything in a day. So you're causing shortages.
Yeah, exactly. It's try and I tried to get that point across to our radio, and I'm sure you've done the same thing when you've been on the TV shows and stuff like that. But it's not what they want to see. It's not, they want to see you running around gun toting and crazy. That's that's what Hollywood said it should be, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, and I also think it has a lot to do with like personal responsibility. Like I'm a mother, I have 3 kids. Something happens, I'm not dependent on the government coming to save them.
Wasn't
Ever.
your name of your channel something to do with this? Like somebody called you a doomsday queen? Is that right?
Yeah.
Am I getting that
So
story right?
the New York Times, I think was what it was, and they were like, "She's the queen of doomsday," and I was like, "I'm coining that as a YouTube channel immediately." When I read it, and I was like, "Oh, this is taking a whole different turn." Okay.
But that's the sensational headlines that sell papers and sell TV
It
shows,
gets
right?
you to click that article real quick. So
That's it. Sorry, I've completely neglected the comments.
Ignore the comments.
Yeah. Generally, everyone's just shouting and agreeing with us very loudly. So, God, those shows are awful. Talking about doomsday preppers, no civil defense at all, and not allowed to even show local council tenants how to make heatable shelter currently. Yeah, what does your states play in resilience over there, if you don't mind me asking? Like, we have nothing over here, whereas like Norway and stuff like that have been releasing pamphlets saying you should stock food, stuff like that. Do the states or the governors or anything say anything?
So it's
Try and
normally
encourage
like
it?
on the FEMA websites or government websites, but they don't send out pamphlets on it. So like if people are truly curious, it's like you'll get like a little letter from like the water department. It's like recommended if ever a water advisory, purify and filtrate your water. See what is the website? The FDA.gov, blah, blah, blah. And so then
Yeah.
people realize that like your government already encourages at minimum 2 weeks supply, but people still don't do it.
Mm-hmm. We've got a water shortage going on and water problems in this country as well at the moment.
29,000 people with no water for a week. 29,000 because of creaking infrastructure, lack of investment in a public utility company that's been sold off for profit.
Yep.
Yeah, not great. So, what is the perception in the UK that there's like my perception is that there's lots of preppers in America and everybody's a prepper. Would that be right or wrong? Is it more mainstream? I suppose I'm asking.
I feel like it became more mainstream during the pandemic. Like everything was constantly very viral. But then it falls off like in segments. So because Scottish, we've been friends for a long time. Like I'll have to do interval different videos that are trendy, right? So all of a sudden it's like, let's go prepping at Walmart. Let's go prepping at the Dollar Tree. So I have to like kind of spearhead that to get it to go viral again. But I feel like
that's why I'm not growing. I've not got that voice to do that. It doesn't sound the same when it comes from me.
Voice, and it's just like,
let's go prepping at Aldi. No, it doesn't work for me.
It works for me, Mike. My accent totally makes it work.
You guys can just roll with the accent. But then there's other things like, here. Oh.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm going to mute my mic.
That's okay. Mike has the voice of an angel. Thank you, Liam. There you go.
I don't think so.
Bathroom water, oil-filled wall tower heaters. I have kept warm during the coldest part so far. Winter warm. That's Sab the Seeker.
Sab.
Oh, Sab, back in the house. How you doing, buddy?
It's been a while.
It has.
It's funny though how you've got a kind of stereotype of what you think people will be like in different countries, Mike. As in, everybody's a prepper in America, and over here nobody is.
But I suppose it boils down to social circles, right? I mean, the Americans I know are Mark, Bob, ration nerd, and obviously Crystal, and it's all these people that are already preppers. So I don't socialize with FEMA people, as it were. So it's kind of the impression you get is the social circle or the media that you consume. But I think we also get all of the Hollywood side of that is always American based, the Walking Dead, stuff like that. Oh yeah, look at him with a crossbow. Look at him. Everyone's got a gun.
Everybody's got a
Everyone
bunker.
knows how to do that. Everyone's got a bunker. Tremors, the best preppers in the world were that couple from Tremors.
With a bunker, and they're shooting it.
That's it. And that's the impression we get. So we think it's more mainstream there. But is that just a Hollywood impression, I suppose, is the question.
I suppose so. Shh. We can't talk about her anymore. She's back now.
Okay, are we done talking crap? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, we're still talking crap.
I had to parent. Okay, what was the subject?
So we were
Mom,
just saying
it's me. Give us money.
we were just saying that the impression over here is more Americans are preppers and stuff like that. And I said that could be the Hollywood factor. Because all the stuff that comes over here, like Walking Dead, even things like Tremors, has my two favorite preppers in Tremors, the film, and stuff like that. It's always, that's the impression we get. And without going outside of that insular world, we think you're all preppers, right?
I feel like a lot of people are preppers because you have like the homesteading community and a lot of farmers, and they naturally already prep. And so when you add prepping, like emergency preparedness and homesteading together, it's a very beautiful, like, unanimous relationship. Or some people call it country living and not prepping. I mean, there's just different terms for it. But
is that a stigma, the term? Because that's what I find over here. People don't like to be called a prepper. I'm not a prepper. I'm a bushcrafter. I'm a survivalist. I'm this,
Even though they're all interlinked, like just think of it. It's all the same, essentially.
Same thing.
It's just the need or the hobby of being self-sufficient. And I do think that there is a lot more here in the United States because we do have a lot of freedoms, right? Where I always tell people, like, the first three things that are always going to cause you to leave your home, right? Food, water, protection. You get overran by somebody, you're going to leave. You run out of water, you're going to leave. You run out of food, you're going to leave. Then you can dabble into medical, all these other things. And I think here, because we have so many freedoms, we have our Second Amendment. I don't know what I'm allowed to say on YouTube Live, but we have a lot of capabilities of defending ourselves. And
you can say what you want as long as you don't show them. That's
okay.
YouTube
we
Live.
say what we
so
want,
you can talk about firearms. Yeah.
So I think it's a disservice for any American not to own a gun. I think it's a disservice because that is one of the things that has been spoken about by other world leaders. Why has there never been anyone to touch ground, physical ground on our own country? Yes, Pearl Harbor happened, but they didn't red dawn it. And it's because behind every blade of grass essentially could be a gun. And for instance, for my own household, where people say, oh, the average Second Amendment enthusiast has 20 guns. Well, I times that by like 30. Guys, I have problems. I like to collect a lot of different things.
I'm so unhappy right now. This is so unfair.
I'm telling you, I'll make my whole neighborhood my own brigade at this point. Like, it's no big deal. We don't even need a platoon. We got a brigade. And most people who have served time in the military are actual preppers too, which a lot of people don't know. I didn't even realize that it still continued. Like, one of those videos that went viral when I was like walking out with body armor on, stuff like that. Like, my husband's unit got a hold of it and they were like, we didn't know you were the Doomsday Queen's husband. What? And I was like, how you guys watch my stuff? This is weird. But I do think that there is a lot of preppers in the United States. I don't think that people are very boisterous about it, but I think it's good. I think we're lowering that 90% rate quite a bit down. And that's my goal. I'm like, if we can get to 70% of everyone gone when the grid goes.
The argument over here would be, to counter that, just to play devil's advocate for a second.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's because it's so difficult over here to get stuff like that. The people that have it have kind of an advantage when it comes to, complete total collapse. Again, be careful what I say. But over there, any desperate, hungry man could be armed.
Mm-hmm.
So as a prepper, I mean, maybe not so much yourself, but if somebody was like an urban prepper like me in a city area, so many threats. That's even more of a dangerous situation, right? So,
and that's where you'd have to have your awareness of sound awareness, light radiance. You wouldn't want to be a beacon of light. Like if everyone else's lights are out, your lights are out. Shielding your windows, shielding the way that you go about it, because then it lowers their perspective.
Yeah. John Platt says America has 2 standing armies. Good luck any country wanting to invade the USA. I always feel like it would be the other factor to that would be the kind of 1 second after scenario, the EMP scenario, because wouldn't land troops there. Like
That
you
would
say,
be
every
their
blade of
best.
grass. It was stupid. However, cut the power off and let you all go it yourselves for a good 6 months and then come and see what's left is a different story, right?
See, the problem we've got in the UK, we cannot talk about home defence at all.
Because we can't defend ourselves. It's not allowed.
Because you're... and I need to be really careful what I say.
Yeah, let's not have anybody kicking indoors, okay? They're all
it's
in
fine.
Utah, the United States. They're at my house. We're doing the podcast here.
So, for sporting purposes, I shoot, right? Therefore, I'm allowed to have firearms within limitations. But, so the police will come to your home. They'll interview you. They'll talk to your wife as well, if she's there. They'll want to see a locked cabinet on the wall. They'll try and pull it off the wall. And if you were ever to mention your primary reason or any reason it came up that it was for self-defense or home defense, you will never, ever, ever own a firearm in the UK. Ever.
Yeah.
And for the benefit of the audio recording, that's not my intended purpose. I shoot clay pigeons. That's my hobby.
But it's the same with
different.
anything. You don't even have to say anything about firearms. It's like obviously you've got like simple things like knives like these. It's only a small blade, and it's for camping and for bushcraft and stuff. But if you say the word defense relating to anything like this, it's intent, and it's not allowed. Which the only defense allowed in this country is reasonable force. So if somebody comes at you with their fists and you punch them first, you probably be all right. Somebody comes at you, if multiple people come at you in your house and you grab the nearest giant Tim Hortons cup and hit them with that, you'll probably get away with it. But if you put a baseball bat next to your front door and you never played baseball and you don't have a ball and you use that to defend your house, you're the one that's going to go to prison.
Because your only reason for having it was for defense. That's what they'll argue in court. And you'll be arrested for that.
Yep.
Oh, so
True
you
story.
guys are just like at a double-edged sword. Like there's just no right way about it.
There's no right way, but I mean, most people like us, I mean, I'll speak for myself, and this is not a statement of intent in any way, but if my family's at risk, I'll grab whatever I can, and I will go to prison to defend my family. So it's as simple as that.
You have a right to defend yourself.
I don't think I can go to prison now anyway. I think they're full, so it's fine. There's no room.
The problem is they would look at what you did and they'll do a reasonableness test. So if you had a baseball bat next to your bed, when they've taken the robber away in the ambulance, they'll ask why you had a baseball bat next to your bed, right? And if you don't have an answer, like you've just come back from the softball team that day and didn't have a chance to put it in the shed, right? You're going to jail because you expressly kept that there with the sole intention of rearranging somebody's head should they be silly enough to break into your home. So that would be a crime.
Oh, I'd be going to prison. I can't even say it with a good voice. I'd be going, let's go do some doomsday prepping at UK prisons.
There's no room. You can't.
Oh, shoot.
So
they're full of hurty
that
word
is a
people
true story.
who said things on Twitter.
That is how it is here.
I mean, I sleep with a gun right next to me. So
I really don't like you. So unfair.
And I have one on my waist right now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
There you go.
You know,
There you
maybe I made them all cry for the day. Yeah, yeah. If you're not in the UK and you don't have those restrictive laws, I think you should take advantage of your laws and your rights because they are a right. But unfortunately for you guys, they're not a right. You
Used
hear
to
me,
be.
Canada? Is there anybody in here from Canada? You hear me? The whole gun buyback thing, don't do it. Once you give it up, it will never come back.
Yeah, you're gonna have Nate emigrate over the border, aren't you? Because he doesn't want to give up his.
Probably.
I've not seen much of him in a while. He's went really quiet.
No, he did a video the other day. He's busy. He's looking for properties and land at the moment. So
again,
I don't blame him.
No.
I mean, the United States, we're our own dumpster fire in its own, but I feel like there is some aspects that do make prepping a lot easier in the United States compared to other countries. Just sometimes people just don't want to listen to it. They don't want to absorb it, take it in, really branch out. They want to focus on whatever. Queen, you are making grown men cry here. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But back to Greenland, one of the reasons why I think maybe they're after Greenland is think about everything that's up north, right? You got Alaska, you got Russia, you got all these impenetrable areas, right? Even in Canada, the further north you go, the more harsh the climate is. I mean, wars would really only last 3 months. Then they would be taking a break for a bit. So I do wonder if that is one of the big aspects of Greenland is that a new bunker location maybe for the United States? I don't know.
Is it the seed vault somewhere up there?
It's up there, yes.
Yeah. The seed vault's up there. Yeah.
The thing is, he's not
glowing. We'll find out.
He's got a blank check for basing rights now. Nobody has an issue with him basing troops, pre-positioning equipment, more radars, air defense, ballistic defense. That's not a problem, and he's been told that's not a problem. Nobody has a problem with that. So if that's taken out of the equation, that only leaves a land grab for resources in my mind. That's I can't get past that.
I mean, can I put out there what a way to etch your name into history to be the first president in how long to increase the number of states? I mean, if you want immortalizing as a president, surely that would be the way. By the way, Brian, that super sticker was on your channel if you want to thank Nicola. There you go.
Oh, thank you so much, Nicola. Very kind of you. Thank you.
That is true, though. Like, maybe this is an ego war. I feel like most world leaders right now are in an ego war. And if you go back to like 2011, right? Putin came to NATO and was like, hey, we fought wars together. I want to be part of NATO. And NATO was just like, no. And then he came back again like 2 years later and was like, I want to be part. And NATO actually made a mockery of it. There were so many articles, like dogging Putin, like, oh, he's begging for a seat at the table, and then Canada will be part of the U.S. soon. Oh boy!
Yeah, don't even joke about it. The way things are going,
I don't want to joke about it, man. I don't. They're already clicking the unfollow button. She laughed a little bit.
It's a possibility.
It's a possibility. YouTube is very sensitive, you guys. I just want you guys to know that compared to TikTok. I mean, I can piss people off and they come back day after day.
But then you've got the other side of TikTok, whereas if you say certain words, the algorithm just suddenly turns you off for no reason. That's the weird thing with that one.
Yeah, they're like, censor her immediately.
Yeah.
Not today. But you have all this pull, right? And I feel like it was more of a throat punch from NATO at Putin, and they were like, well, what if we bring Ukraine in? And he was excuse me, no, absolutely not, no, bomb it tomorrow, like launch it. So it feels like there's a lot of egos at play, because
100%. And I genuinely think, let's be fair, you've got a celebrity president right now, right? You've not got like Putin was from like going through the KGB and stuff like that, the military side of things. And that's where a lot of world leaders come from. You've got a celebrity president. You know, you're fired, the whole apprentice thing, everything like that. His
But
idea,
they're all alpha males, though.
But anyone like that always wants to be immortalized in some way, right? Nobody can live forever, but if your memory lives on, now if you created the 53-starred American flag during your 4-year reign, nobody's going to forget you for the next 200 years.
Yep.
Just saying.
Nobody's going to forget you. And then you have, for instance, some of the countries that kind of like, shafted Putin. I'm not for Putin at all on any level, but they shafted him, made fun of him. But some of their countries are still standing because of him. Not because of him, but because of Russia. Russia and the United States essentially pushed Hitler into a corner where Hitler took his own life, which a lot of people don't understand. It was Russian tanks and US tanks that were literally working together to end that regime. And then for him to be on the outskirts and then all of a sudden, hey, I know that they might be your enemy, but let's bring them in. I think that was when gloves decided to come off with Putin, and he decided, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's rally this. Let's go.
It's a missed opportunity, because at one point he was very much the social darling of the West, and he was at Buckingham Palace, he was in the US, he was in the White House. It was very much a missed opportunity to keep him at arm's length. It's better to keep him close. That's what should have happened when 1991. Yeah, 100%. Because if he's part of the inner fold, it's easy to keep track of what he's doing. I think we missed an opportunity there.
I think that was a very big missed opportunity. Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies way closer. Like, okay, let's be okay with each other.
Yeah.
But he's now...
They the people you want to be on side. Otherwise, you end up with rogue nations like North Korea, who are now nuclear armed and so unpredictable. That's the scariest bit.
And Trump went over there and sat down with Kim.
First president to cross the demilitarized zone, wasn't he? To go onto their side. Yeah.
So it's almost wondering, is this a play for resources? Are they really just trying to gobble up because they know it's inevitable? Like, no, it's inevitable that the bombs will go off at some point.
He's money driven. Let's be honest. He's money orientated and he's money driven. The Great Gaza rebuild, you've got to put $1 billion into a Trump administered fund to be in the club, right? He's very money driven. Venezuela, we're keeping that. What about the oil tankers, Mr. President? We're selling that. He's money driven. So I think that drives his actions and his aspirations, as it has done throughout all his adult life. So that will form part of his thought process. So again, I keep thinking it's resources for what he's doing it for.
I don't care if I get arrested, MG. I will be your inside man if you want to come and invade the UK and make us great again.
Well, I guess we're just in a new game of Risk, and it's just prep or risk. Watch what the allies are.
Listen, the UK is worth 5 points. It's good. It's a good position on Risk. So come and take it.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I do like it there. All right, you guys. I do have to head out because I have to go drive my daughter to her extracurricular activities. That's what the meltdown was. But I wanted to say thank you guys for bringing me on. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Good to see you. Take care.
We've got 200 people in here. Just quickly before you go, can you tell people quickly about your channel before you go? Anyone that doesn't know about it.
Doomsday Queen on YouTube and Charmingly Frugal over on the Tiki Tac.
There you go. Go and check it out. Regular uploads, great content. Would love to have you back anytime.
All right. I will see you later.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You're stuck with me, Mike.
I'm stuck with you. No, that's good to get that perspective and stuff like that. And to be honest, what surprised me was it wasn't a case of I thought everyone there was defending his actions, but I think even the preppers and stuff like that are starting to, even the people that have probably voted initially are starting to think, hang on, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? Everyone's having reservations about his current moves, right?
It seems to be everybody's in the same boat in the States as here to a certain extent. They're pissed off with the way the country's been run, and you've got polarized views There doesn't seem to be much middle ground, either across the pond or here. Seems to be two diametrically opposed opinions, either this way or that way, and there's no middle ground. See the lack of middle ground? That's a problem.
Yeah. Liam says we're all stuck with Brian. Let's all sign off now.
How rude. You've no idea what a challenge it is, Liam, being the eye candy of the UK Prepper Network. With my lustrous locks of golden hair.
We're definitely recruiting.
Oh dear.
Christian Ordum says, as an American, I can confirm a lot of people aren't happy with our president or his administration. No, I get that. And it's always, no matter what country you're in, there's going to be a split thing because, it was never 100% of the vote. You're always going to get that. Usually the side that didn't get the votes, or so if the right wing gets in, the left wing doesn't, the left wing will be the loudest because they're the most aggrieved. So
but this is the shit I've got to put up with.
What's that?
I'll shave my hair, make you a wig, Brian. Fuck off, Luce. I don't need this shit. I get this shit at home,
Oh dear. Yeah, a lot are not happy, and it's always going to be that way. But what my point was, I think the people that I'm all for make England great again. I'm all for drill, baby, drill. If we had that here,
England great again.
Yeah,
England.
Well, so we're going to build that wall up.
Oh, the testing ground we've been forgotten about again. Is that how it works?
Mega sounds better than Mugger.
You live in Manchester. It's Mugger paradise.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. No, but it's. I'd be all for that. And when he got voted in, like I say, I followed Charlie Kirk and I followed all his coverage of the election, stuff like that, and I was buzzing. I thought he's a great thing for it. But I think even the people that were like me then are now thinking, really? Greenland, your allies, threatening Canada? It just all feels a bit too much. That's it. There you go. Mega. Make England great again.
I'm kind of hoping that he's just he's playing a game of brinksmanship, because if it continues down the unfortunate path it seems to be taking, then the NATO alliance will be broken and fractured, which, whether MD likes that or not, that's not going to be a good thing economically or militarily for anybody. It's kept peace for a lot of time.
I think he will get enough people who don't want the trade relationship to break and don't want tariffs in Europe to put pressure on Denmark, and I think he will acquire Greenland legally through that pressure. And I think it'll all be economic pressure. I don't think American troops are going to land on the beaches of Greenland and a couple of, Greenlanders fighting them off. I mean, you wouldn't have done that back in the Viking days. Wouldn't have done that back in the Viking days. The Greenlanders were mean, but you know what I mean? I don't see that happening. I see it as like he's going to put this financial pressure on. He's good at that. We know he is. And we've literally just watched Starmer go, oh yeah, we're going to get 10% tariff, but we don't want to rock the boat, and whatever we do, we don't want a trade war and stuff. And what would it take for him to turn around and say, right, Sodja, we're going to do it back to you? He could whack it. He could February 10%, March. Well, I've still not got Greenland 20%. I've still not got Greenland 30%, 40%, 50%.
I think I don't know if that's come through to me or you, Mike. I can't tell.
That's on mine. Thank you, Prepper70. Much appreciated. Come on, guys, catch up. Brian's £8 ahead of me.
Thank you very much. Your kindness is appreciated. It all goes back into the channel. It's difficult to know what he's going to do, and I'm hoping it's brinksmanship, but I don't think it is. Did you see Hungary shafted the EU tonight as well? They wouldn't take part in So Orban, the guy in charge of Hungary, he let out a statement saying that he didn't agree with a joint statement as part of Europe. He didn't feel it was a European issue, and it was a problem between two parties.
So he wouldn't do, though, isn't he?
Yeah, he's pro anybody that puts their hand in their pocket, though. So he wouldn't do. If he wasn't going to get involved, they can't do a unanimous statement saying all of Europe is this. which brings a small amount of leverage, let's be honest. But it's so much less when there's dissent in the ranks.
Yeah. I can you see military action though? Genuinely,
As an extreme event, well, let's put it this way. Let's say negotiation doesn't work.
But you've
right?
got to think Venezuela, he had a reason and a justification that he could sell to his own populace, right?
But here's the thing. In his mind, he's got that. He's got justification in his own mind, and he's already trying to sell it to the populace. He perhaps genuinely believes that there's a valid security risk that basin rights alone will not fulfill, and he has to, for the good of everybody, to take all of Greenland. If he genuinely believes that in his heart and in his head, then if they won't give him it or they won't sell him it, then yes, I don't think it's going in with bombs and fighters. But let's look at it this way: if they dropped the 82nd Airborne, right, or it would have to be something quick, right? If he dropped troops in the middle of Greenland and took over, and the population were kept looked after, they weren't hurt or abused or anything, and he says, right, this is now American territory, there would be an almighty shitstorm of, we're not happy. And that's it.
Yeah.
The EU would make a lot of noises, but ultimately would do nothing. And when it's taken, it's gone.
We can't afford to kick NATO, USA out of NATO, right?
There's no levers that we can pull. We're not going to pull any economic levers, and militarily we're a wet lettuce compared to the military on the other side. So that's not going to happen. So could he do it? Yes. Will he do it? I don't know. But I think it's getting higher than a 50-50 chance now, given what he's done with Venezuela. He's not backing down at all, even tonight on media. Wait and see. That was what the news person got told. Yeah. Are you going to take Greenland? Wait and see. Yeah. So he's not shown any signs of backing down. You tell me what you think he's going to do then.
He's heading to Davos though, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's to pile the economic pressure on, because I think even if you're right, he would have to exhaust the economic avenues first, right? Surely, because they was talking about paying each Greenlander like $20,000 or something at one point. I don't know how true that was. I mean, it's not many.
Both of them are getting 20 grand. Wow. Yes. That's a cheap buy. See, I think it's possible. Given the way things have gone this year so far, it's possible.
Much appreciated. £10 there. I really appreciate that. Thank you. If he does it in the US, if he does it, the US will be bankrupt.
I think what it means by that is the EU could pull the economic lever and sell the bonds, which would be about 8 trillion or something, and dump it onto the market. I don't see them likely to do that, to be honest. I don't think they've got the balls for it, to be candid. Exactly. I don't think they've got it.
That's exactly the same thing as kicking them out of NATO.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are literally, let's bankrupt the largest military force that NATO has. So they won't do it. They won't do it. And if you believe that he's got a button that turns off all their technology that we happen to have over here and stuff like that, then we lose half of our defense and nukes as well at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, there's only 2 nuclear powers in the European Union, although Britain isn't in the European Union. There's only the UK and France.
Listen, nice to see Greenland, one way or another, power or money, mark my words.
Code Red Trauma, nice to see you. Always good to see other people in the...
you. Good show, guys. Love from Texas. Yes, that's where I want my green card for. Stay in touch.
Mike wants to visit. Mike wants to sleep on your couch.
I went to Fort Worth, Dallas, and even Lubbock because I was following Buddy Holly's trail, and I fell in love with Texas completely. Anyway,
why would you follow Buddy Holly?
I tell you what, it was a great, because I'm into that kind of music and stuff, but it was a tour about all his
shite music.
But there's parts of Lubbock where the coach driver said, "We're going to drive past his house, but we're not going to stop in this neighborhood." You drive past this slowly, this empty lot with a plaque on it, and you take pictures, but you look to the houses around, you're like, I know why we're not stopping. Keep going.
You'll be able to tell better than me, mate. There's 2 supers popped on, but I don't know.
They're on mine. Thank you very much,
Right.
Prepper70. Here's a couple of quid to support the channel. Thank you, John Platts. Really appreciated. NATO will take the IS forces here as prisoners of war. Interesting.
I don't think they'll do anything. That's my personal opinion. I don't think they've got the moxie or the bollocks to do it. And I don't see any point. I genuinely don't see any point. If he's got his heart set on this path, as destructive as I think it would be, there's not a goddamn thing we can do about it.
I have a small business and I'm seeing people boycotting US products / companies, wondering if that makes any difference.
Probably not.
Yeah.
We don't buy enough per head of population to make it a problem.
It's never been overly cost effective to buy anything as a consumer from the States, but we do get a lot of agricultural equipment and stuff like that. That's what will be affected more than anything else. Saying that, we'll have no agriculture left soon, so it doesn't matter.
It's all solar farms, mate.
Solar farms. They'll all be gone.
I live in Dallas. You don't want to live here during the summer.
I went in August. It was August I was there, so it was warm.
Well, I live in Scotland and we get 2 days of summer a year. Trust me, Dallas has got a certain amount of appeal. That's what happened to my hairline. It all washed off. It's constant rain. It just disappeared.
We believe you. We believe you.
That and the kids.
I guess Amazon, Netflix, etc. is also American. Yeah, I'm not sure how that works tariffs wise. Digital products, do they subject to tariffs? That's a good, interesting.
Don't know. Never thought of that, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, Netflix goes up 10% every week anyway, I think. So I don't think that's got anything to do with tariffs. So all you're doing is encouraging dodgy Fire Stick sales.
Who would use
Arizona
such a thing?
Here, the real cowboys, yeehaw. Without America, our farmers wouldn't have their John Deere tractors. Exactly. Agreed,
Double figures
Brian.
in Scotland.
Agreed, Brian. They don't have the minerals for a start. EU has allowed millions of boys on boats to invade them. Yeah.
And you can't argue with that. That's a fair call.
You can't argue when he turns around and says the UK has its own problems. With
And he was right.
Of speech, with this, with that, with doctors and engineers everywhere. And, you know, it's... Yeah.
And not drilling for oil, not making the most of your natural resources. So that's my big problem with Trump. He says some things that make a lot of sense, and then he rambles on for an hour about how he reinvented the wheel, right? Just absolute shite for an hour, showing pictures of criminals. There was hundreds of them.
Yeah.
He's a bad guy. He's a bad guy too.
Watch you quite often, but never catch lives or comment as a bit hermity. Cheers. Enjoy the channel. Don't be hermity. Come and join the community. Get onto the Discord. It's a great community. Everyone's welcome. No digital products are not subject to tariffs as they had no physical products cross the border. There we go.
That never knew that.
Thank you very much, Dominic. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed tonight's live. Look, she's trying to end us already. Look, she's enjoyed. Look at the past tense. Miss Worms just said it's time to end. So
I think the admins are getting tired, mate.
Yeah, the Scottish Islands is better than mainland of Scotland and UK when it comes to the summer weather. There you go.
Kinda. That's not exactly true. I worked in Shetland on and off for a month out the year for about 12 years. I've never seen the sunshine there. There's no trees and the rain is horizontal. So Shetland has its own microclimate. Don't ever go there, right? It's just a horrible place. Orkney is beautiful. If you ever go anywhere in your life, go there. It's an amazing island.
Do you think it was named because it was mispronounced when the guy got back off the boat? He goes, "Where have you been?"
Shetland.
Oh, Shetland.
They've got a cracking Chinese in Lerwick, though.
There you go. Worth it for that. Oh, $9.99 from Code Red Trauma, all the way from Texas. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Do you think Trump will try and buy Scotland? If he does,
Yes,
give me a
please.
heads up, because we will move there first. Then he can buy it. And I will help rebuild Hadrian's Wall. I will do that with my own two hands. Not a problem.
I, for one, welcome our new overlord.
Will you fight for your
dear.
country? Only against
No.
certain people.
No. We will fight them in the beaches, as Churchill said. That's about it.
Wait, we were supposed to enjoy their life. Thank you, Liam. Appreciate the honesty. That's always the best.
So harsh.
It's so harsh. So harsh. We will end anyway, because we've been on for an hour 46 on a school night. Big thank you again. I know she's gone to our awesome special guest, Doomsday Queen. If you've not seen her channel on here or on TikTok, please go and follow that. After this video has gone, I'll put a link to a channel in the comments below. So watch out for that and make sure you go and subscribe. The more we can integrate both sides,
the
better. And we can learn from each other a lot. So any final thoughts on the world falling to bits only 20 days into January, Brian, before you go?
I did think at the start of the year, and we spoke about it on numerous lives, that 2026 is going to be the year of the prepper. Everything I've seen so far in January has pretty much rubber stamped that message. So, yeah, it's looking to be quite the eventful calendar year, put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun and games. Never a better time to be a prepper, though, right?
Absolutely. Can somebody, Miss Worm, if you get a chance, or she's done it, Evil Girl's done it. Yeah. Thank you so much.
But just to explain, Discord, you can get it as an app on your phone. You can use it via a browser, discord.gg/UKPN. It's basically what you essentially would class as a forum. A community chatting on there, but it's the most active one I've ever been part of, and I've been part of a lot of them, and it's just a great community of like-minded people. So it's worth going in there, and you can lurk in the shadows, just say hello every so often so we don't think you've disappeared. But yeah, loads of information to be had on there, as Evil Girl also put the link on as well. So appreciate Miss Worm, Evil Girl, all our moderators tonight. Thank you very much for all your help every time we do.
Thanks, guys.
Especially when it's spontaneous like this and lasts an hour and 50 minutes. We've really got to double your pay, guys, from 0 to what's double zero?
Wait a minute. They get paid. I need a better union.
I don't believe in unions. Kim Jong Mike, remember? Thanks very much, guys, for all the support. All the links are below my videos. If you're on Brian's channel as well, make sure you support him, like, subscribe, all that lovely stuff. And we will see you all in another live soon when the next thing explodes or goes wrong. So
probably tomorrow then.
Probably, yes. See you tomorrow when Greenland's been invaded for the
later,
live
folks.
coverage. Bye.